What's going on, YouTube? We're back, making videos again, but this time on iRacing. If you want to know why, don't forget to check out the brand new intro video on the front of our page. As I mentioned in that video, we'll be doing our best race of the day, we'll be doing weekly highlights, and on the odd occasion, which is this video right here, a tutorial. I'm not the best sim racer, I'm not going to ever claim to be. I'm not even all that good, but I can definitely help you guys out. This week, week 3 of season 2, 2021 on iRacing. The Formula Renault 3.5 is at Hockenheim, a new track for this season that was added by iRacing. Thank you. It's a cool track. It's one I've never actually raced races on before. We will be doing so, though, on our Twitch channel this week. Check the description below for the link to the channel. So in iRacing, as many of you know, you can race many different disciplines between GT cars, open wheelers, ovals, dirt, all of it is in iRacing, which is something I really enjoy about it. I can switch it up if I ever get bored of something. But I am a big open wheeler guy. You guys have seen that in the past. Some of you have. I'm even bigger on open wheelers in iRacing. And this one, Formula Renault 3.5, is my favorite open wheel car. It is an amazing car and is at the new Hockenheim track. Now, Hockenheim might be a track that you may be familiar with from other games. It is not one I have personally raced ever in a racing sim. So this will be new for me. I've been practicing it a lot. I've put together my best lap to help you guys. We'll go through it in slow motion. It will be a bit choppy like this because I'm doing it in slow motion, not full speed lap. And we'll go over it corner by corner and hopefully help improve your lap times. This one's not a bad lap time when I'm comparing it to some of the setup makers and stuff like that, which is what I normally compare it to. It's not a bad time, and I'll go through it with you guys, and I will help you with things that I did wrong. You'll see what I did wrong, and then I do know how to correct them. And I'll give you guys the advice on how to correct them to make your time better than the one I'm about to put. Here we are, start-finish line of Hockenheim, about to head down to turn 1. Now, on a flying lap, you should be crossing this line in about 5th gear in a Formula Renault 3.5. The turn behind is somewhat fast. It's going to be a 3rd gear turn. We'll see it when we get to it, because we're going to come to it. But you're going to get to this, and you should be in about 5th gear. We're going to head down to turn 1. And you're going to want to stay on the left-hand side. It's going to be a very, very quick right-handed turn. You're only going to drop a gear and cut the corners best you can without catching the sausage. So see, what I mean is when you get to this point, just before the 100-meter marker, you're going to probably be in 6th gear. And then once you get to about here, now I have the driving line on to help you guys with braking zones of where you're going to want to look around in this video to see where you're going to start braking. Now here, if you drive with the driving line on, you're not going to want to start braking on this corner until you're fully in the red. All right. If you don't have it on, it'll be just before the 50-meter mark. So here's what I mean. When you get to about here, you're going to want to be braking. All right. Now you can see down below in the video, you can see what gear I'm in the car on the wheel. All right, right now it says in neutral because I just came down from 6th. All right, so right here I've already tapped my brake and I've hit the downshift to get into 5th gear. So right here, if you can see somewhere that you can notice, maybe the scoreboard up in the top right-hand corner if you don't have the driving line on. If you do have the driving line on, you're just into full red on the line. All right, and this is where you're going to want to be on the brake a little bit, not full brake, and downshift to 5th. Once you get into 5th, you should be able to handle this corner if you cut it right. Now, I did not cut this corner right, and I'll show you where I messed up. So you see right here, I should be right against that red sausage. Not on it, because if you're on it, you're going off into the wall over on the left. But if you can actually get onto that blue and white curb when you're coming around this corner, which I missed, not by a lot, but I did miss it. It did cost me a little bit of time. Coming out of here in 5th, you should now, by this point, be back on the gas, on the acceleration, but gently. probably about 3/4. And then by the time you get to here, you should be pretty much fully on it. It's okay to get up onto this curb. You're not going to get an off track for this curb. Get up onto it. Come back down off of it. And then by here, you should be, at the end of this curb, you should be back into 6th gear for turn 1. So after turn 1, you're going to start getting back up to full speed here, and you're going to hit close to it. Don't be scared to get up on this curb a little bit to make sure that after you've gotten out of turn 1, that you're maximizing. You can do this full throttle. Don't have to worry about getting up on it. It's not an off track. And then you're boogieing down here to turn 2. Now, turn 2 is tricky because you're going 6th gear. You're almost maxed out on speed. And once you get to about the 100-meter marker is when you're going to want to start braking here. Maybe even a little bit sooner, depending on your setup. All right. I went a little bit sooner because this corner down here is very sharp. And it is about a 2nd gear corner. You could probably go a little bit later, but I wouldn't push it to any further than the start of this curb on the left. For the really, really good guys that have load cell pedals, direct drive, wheels, and all the fancy gears with the Sims and stuff, you could probably get away with this one if you're an expert. I'm no expert. However, so I started braking just before the 100-meter mark. This will almost pretty much guarantee you when you're in the pink on the driving line. If you use the driving line, if you don't, but you're not 100% sure yet and you're just learning, start here and then push your way probably to that curb. All right. We're going to keep moving through. You're really braking hard down into 2 here. And then here, I missed it again. Apex. What apex? I missed it again. But you're going to, again, want to be against that red curb. However, here, you're going to want to be gentle when you get back onto the throttle here. Because as some of these you'll see throughout this video, there's tire marks all over the track. Because when I was learning it, I was learning where I can put down the throttle, where I have to be gentle and modulate it. Most of the corners at Hockenheim, you have to modulate your throttle in a 3.5, all right? So coming around here, get up into that curb. Get right up against that red sausage. Don't be scared to, but don't get up on it, because in these cars, you'll lose it. And then follow that curb all the way around, and then you want to be back on the accelerator here. And then by here, you want to be full again. This next corner coming up is going to be in 3rd gear. Because you're going to be back fully on the accelerator by this point. You're going to be up into 3rd gear. And then off you go around the corner. That corner is a full throttle corner in 3rd gear. So make sure you catch the edge of that curb. It is catchable. You see the green on it. I caught it. I actually did it this time. I actually caught it. And off we go. We caught it right. You want to be off it right around here. Right around there or so. You want to be off of it. And then you're full throttle. This is a very long straightaway. It is maxed out. And that beautiful sign right there. Make sure in a Formula Renault 3.5 you have your DRS mapped. Because on this straightaway particular, you're going to want it. It's going to be huge in your races. You'll be able to pass a lot of people as you get by down this straight. Once you get into 4th, 5th, by the time you hit that DRS zone, you're in 6th or almost in 6th. Hit your DRS and off you go. So here we are, the big straight. How big is it? I'm not going to do it in slow motion. Just enjoy the sound for a minute. Isn't that beautiful? That's all full DRS as well. You want to make sure, again, you're on DRS as you come down this straight. This is going to be a big passing opportunity. The track's plenty wide. This is going to be where most of the overtaking happens on this track. So we're coming down to the next one. And if you thought that last turn in 2 was sharp, this one's a heck of a lot sharper. This is going to be the one first gear turn that you need. And most turns in a Formula Renault 3.5 are never going to be first gear. This is definitely a first gear turn. It is that sharp. And if you miss the apex, which I do believe I did miss again, because who needs apexes, right? This one here, I messed up a little bit, but not too terribly bad. It's going to be a good example. Don't worry. So you're coming down the straight, 6th gear, DRS wide open. I hit brakes right at the beginning of the curb. The beginning of this curb is about 130 meters or so-ish. There's several points you can use if you don't use the driving line. First of all, if you do use the driving line, this is where you're going to want to start training yourself to not use it. This curb is much better than this driving line. This curb right here is the perfect place to start braking. The other one is that orange wall you see over on the left, just above my head there. It's right there. That's another good one if you miss the curb. That's a great place to start braking for this corner. This is a very, very, very slow corner, all right? So start braking right around here. And as you're coming in, you're hard braking all the way down to first gear. And then you start turning in here. See, I'm already in first gear at this point. Coming around this bend, you're going to want to be up on that curb. I almost made it, but not quite. You want to be right up against that curb, but definitely do not go over it. You want to be up on that curb because it gives you the best exit possible out of this corner. And you're going to want those two tires over here on the left. You're going to want them right up on that blue and white curb, but not up against the sausage. All right. I missed it altogether there. Coming down this straightaway, you're back wide open again. You have to be careful coming out of that chicane because as you can probably have seen, I don't know if you noticed it or not, there was quite a few of them. See these tire tracks? I came out of it too wide one time up onto that curb. I got up onto that sausage and you see those tire marks in front of me where I spun it, all right, on a previous lap. So be careful when you're getting on the accelerator coming out of here. Make sure your car is facing straight, your wheel is straight, and then you can step on it. Heading down to the next turn. So as we're going along, just moseying down, this one's going to be pretty quick. Right here, there's lots of things to say, oh no, there's a sharp corner coming. There's a right-hander, especially if you've never driven this track. There's going to be two corners that are similar like this. This first one is flat out, all right? In fifth gear is what you should be by the time you get here, and it's flat out. Now, you're going to want to start turning right after you pass the curb a bit. You're going to want to come up that curb maybe 50 meters and then start turning in. You're going to want to catch the inside of this curb here, which I did. I actually caught it, chat. And fly out. Now, you're going to want to be a little further left. If you have the proper angle, you're going to want to be a little further left, right up, still on the pavement, but close to that curb over there on the left. Punching it down through here. You're into sixth gear by the time you get to here. Now, see, this is where it starts getting tricky if you don't have that driving line. Maybe the end of the curbing on the left is going to be your braking point, or maybe count a tick before you start braking. But here, even though it says here on the driving line to start braking, you're going to want to start braking right around here because this is going to be another really sharp corner. It is a second gear corner, and you're going to want to be braking hard coming down into here. Again, I'm going to miss this apex because I don't do apexes. And bang. You're going to want to be just over onto that curb. I didn't miss it by that much this time, which is weird. I've been having a problem with this one. But this one, you're going to be right up on that curb coming out of here. And again, there is a dip in this corner. You're going to want to be very gentle on the throttle. Very, very gentle on the throttle. Then once you get to about here, pick it up a little bit. You should be about 60, 70% here. And then once you've got the car straightened out, it's 100. I was 100 at one point in my practices here. I ended up where you see those black tire marks. I ended up over there. So 100 here. Now the catch is you're going to want to lift a little bit right here. And I mean a little bit, just a very small touch to get the car started turning. In third gear, top of third gear, ready to hit fourth. Catch this curb just like I did. And you want to be full throttle going through here. All right. Get those tires up onto that curbing on the left. And then you're heading down to a straightaway. This is going to be the second turn that is similar to the one back there. But this one does require a little bit of a slowdown. So now we're coming down this back straight. We're getting into the last part of the lap. After that speedy right-hand corner, if you hit it right, you should be in 5th gear when you get to here. And should be in 5th when you get to the corner. Don't shift up to 6th if you do get that high up, because then you're going to have to double down shift to make this corner. Here, you're going to come down here, and I was trying to find a braking point here. And it looks like, because you're only going to tap it for a second, downshift once, and then start your turn immediately. So I was thinking right around the start of those, you see them on the top there. Those black squares up top is probably going to be your best spot to use for a braking point. Hit a braking point, and as you can see, I used that as well. And I downshifted to 4 coming here. You're going to want to, once you're into this turn, you see how the curbing on the right-hand side is got green on the other side of it? It's okay to get up into that green. I don't think I get up into the green, or do I? No, I stayed on the curb. But staying on the curb is fine, because then you can be back on the throttle right here. Full throttle. And then punch it out of here. You should be able to coast into this curbing here. You can use all of the curbing, but be careful, because it is quite bumpy. So you can easily, in an open wheel car, lose control of the car real quick. But you can be full throttle through here, and if you catch both of those, and this is a turn where I made most of my time. But if you can hit that spot right here, where those black boards are just about to pass your screen, and you're coming through, you should be able to hit both of those and get down into 6th gear before. This one's a pretty easy start to your braking point. It's pretty simple. I started, because I was being cautious, just before I got to the new pavement and the curb. It's all right there. Like, that's a pretty easy braking point to find. I use it just a little bit before, because I wanted to make sure I got this corner. This corner's got a dip, and it's tough. And if you're too quick on the throttle or going too fast, you can spin this car easily on this turn. However, it's not that difficult of a turn. You want to be braking hard here. You want to get your tires onto the inside. And this one, you can't miss the apex. If you miss the apex, you're going to screw up the entire corner. And luckily, I didn't. I kept it right up against the curb. Not up onto it, but you can get up onto it. And then you want to be throttling out of here. I've seen some guys use a lot of that green over there on the right. But you don't need to use it all. And in fact, it gets quite bumpy over there. And if you go too far, you do get an off track. So be quite careful. At this point here, once you get to here, you can be back on the throttle full. And you just get out of that corner, you should be getting into 3rd gear right around at this spot. So now we've only got a couple of corners left. This one here is going to be tricky. This is all going to be about muscle memory when you get to it. All right. Once you've learned the track. So here, you're going to want to get your tires up onto that green. I didn't do it on this lap. Again, follow as I say, not as I do. I'm showing you where I made my mistakes on this lap, and where you can improve on my decent lap time, to be fair. It was about 2.5 seconds off the top ones, so it wasn't too bad. I'm normally a guy who's about 3.5 to 4 seconds in most cars. So this was a really good lap for me. So yeah, you want to get it onto the green, but you're still going to be full out through here. Maybe lift a little bit to make sure you cut it. Here's the tricky part. Because once you make that, and it's a very fast corner, you're going to want to clip this as well. And this one I got perfect, I think. Yes, I did. I just kept it off the red, maybe just a little bit on the red. But you want to keep it off, but you want to be right up on that curb to cut this corner, heading into this part. So you're going to heavy brake after you come off of that corner. Heavy brake for down to a 3rd gear. You want to be in 4 by the time you hit that corner, by the way. But you want to brake down into 3rd for here. I missed this one completely. I've seen people hit this one perfectly, and I haven't figured it out yet. And I've got a lot of learning to do myself. But you're only going to be downshifting for a second, down into 3rd. You want to get down to maybe a low 3rd. Coming around this corner, you're going to want to hit that apex there. Not even close. Not even remotely in the neighborhood. Because that way, if you hit that there, then on a different car that requires pit stops, the entrance to pit lane is right there on your right-hand side. So if you cut that corner properly, you can either go the fastest way to the next turn, or you can hit pit lane if you need to hit pit lane. But you're going to come out of there in third. You're going to lift at the end of that red curb there on the left-hand side, the red sausage. You're going to lift for a second there and then be back down on it. You're going to want to be into that green, which, again, I missed it. King of Mrs. Apexes. You're going to want to be into that green coming around here and then back on the throttle here and going in full. You can use this curb here as I did. I used a bit too much. I didn't get it off track. That's not an off track, but you don't want to use that much curb, definitely. But you do want to be over here, come off the track on before I do, and then off you go to the start-finish line. And there's your lap of Hockenheim. Hopefully this helps you out with your times. And as I said during the lap, follow as I was saying, not as I was doing. I showed you where the many, many apexes I missed. If you hit those, you could definitely get in there. The top times I've seen are in the high 124s, low 125s. That lap time was a 127.6 for me. So it's a decent lap. It's definitely one I can improve on if I hit those marks. But hopefully this helps you out. Thank you again for watching this video. If you do like it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified when we get some new videos. Again, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck in Hockenheim in the Formula Renault 3.5.